recreate the Simpsons title by learning Parallax in Grease Pencil. Okay, so this is the output. All right, we're gonna stop it right there because if you follow the animation Simpsons, this there's a cutout on this one that exposes the town and it goes in there. So we're just doing the first part and learning parallax, and the parallax right here would be the clouds. We're going to animate the camera going forward, animate the title fading in, just kind of matching it with the music. Okay, as you can see here, the parallax on the clouds, there's some clouds here that are in front and back and some staying in the back, right? So we'll learn how to do that. All right, so this is the part of Grease Pencil that makes it powerful because you get to work with XYZ, all right, and then we can work with the Y or Z axis depth right here. All right, so let's get started. Let's start by creating the asset first, so this should be pretty easy. So I started with the blank stroke right here, and we're going to bring in the assets that or the reference that we're going to be tracing. Okay, so I'm going to go to object mode. Okay, and I'm going to bring in my reference. Okay, so I'm going to go add image reference, and the first one is we're just going to grab the texture, the title first. Okay, so we're just going to trace this. All right, and I can just kind of zoom in here and whatnot. So there's thickness right here, kind of like a drop shadow effect on the Simpsons. So that's optional. I mean, the whole point here is just to how to kind of create this, right? So let's go to the data tab right here, and then let's lower the opacity on this so that we could, as long as we could see it, and so we could see what we're drawing on top. Okay, so we're going to be using that. So let's go to stroke right here. Let's start drawing. Okay, and for this one, we're going to need the ink pen. However, we don't want any radius change and strength. We want our stroke, our line art to be consistent. The radius is at 60 right now. I'm using the solid stroke black, and as you can see, it's quite thick right there. So let's lower this radius to, let's say, 25, and let's see how that works. All right, I think that works right there. Okay, so so ink pen, and we're on a stroke right here. We're just tracing it. Okay, and you can add the drop shadow there if you want, but for this lesson, we're not going to need it. All right. So for the assets, I'm just going to go quickly, just kind of trace this thing. And if you want a little bit more smoothness to your lines, I mean, you can go to, I can go to sculpt mode and fix all this, but you can also activate your stabilizer right here, which gives it kind of like, that's on 40 pixel right now. So it gives it like this lag. So you're kind of guaranteed that you have smooth lines. Okay, I'm not going to be using that, so we can use the sculpt to kind of fix our jitterness. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly, and not even accurately, just kind of trace through this. Okay. All right, so we've done this with the previous lesson on how to get started, and so if you find this kind of advanced, you probably haven't done the initial lessons. Okay, so you can go to the channel and you find all that stuff there. All right, so let me get through this real quick. Decided to kind of show this instead of just building the asset, and then we do have a lot of inquiries sometimes, like how did you make that asset and whatnot. So just kind of decided here, show you how we're doing it. And we're just tracing the original, okay? No, I don't even, my OCD wants to delete that, but no. Okay, so we're just kind of rushing through this part right here because the lesson is the parallax, okay? But let's kind of show this real quick. And as you can see, there's a lot of jitteriness on the original also. So it's not like the original, they want to make sure that it still has that kind of hand-drawn look to it. However, we're going to do the sculpt and kind of fix these things. Again, we're skipping the drop shadow right there for the lesson. You don't need it. Okay, and I'm not super accurate on this one, as you can see. We'll get the point across. Okay. What else am I missing? The big S right here. And of course, you don't have to do this in one single stroke like what I'm doing. You can take a break, especially with sharp cuts right there. Just make sure that the outline is close. All right, I think that's good enough right there. So let's prepare our colors right here. I'm going to go back to object mode here so I can select the empty, the reference, right? And I'm going to bring out the opacity again, okay? So that I can just sample that color right there, and then I can add it to the colors. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our stroke right here. So let me rename this now. This is the title. All right, because we're going to separate the clouds from it. Okay, for the title, we don't need fields right here. We just need the lines. Okay, but let's prepare our color. So we're using the solid color here. Let's edit this. I'm going to eyedrop that yellow so that we get that color now. We don't need that square stroke. We don't need dot stroke also. But we're going to need two other materials here for the cloud. It has like a white color fill for the clouds. Not super white, a little bit kind of off right there. And then we need another fill material. This one is kind of like light blue, but we can eyedrop that also. That's kind of like the highlight or the shadow of the clouds color. Okay, so those are all the things we're going to need. So the empty now, we don't need to see this and we don't need to render it. We're kind of hiding that now. Okay, so we're going to go back to the title. We're going to go back to drawing. All right, and we're going to fill the color. Okay, so we want to make sure that this thing is on for this event. Draw strokes on back so that when we drop the color. Okay, so I'm going to go to the fill bucket right here, and I'm going to select the yellow solid fill, and I'm just going to kind of click, click, double click, click, pause, click. Okay, oh, undo, not that one. So we're skipping any of the letters with the holes in them, because we're going to do those kind of manual. All right, because there's several ways to do this. You can mask it, but this is just much faster if we don't need to worry about masking. So I'm just going to draw the fill color right here, kind of like what we did with homework 1 with when you're learning how to draw it. Okay, so but before yeah, let's do that, and then I'll fix all the jitteriness. If I can show you, I mean, I think it kind of works with the design. So instead of fill bucket, I'm actually going to do the draw. I'm in the pen tool right here, And what I'll do is I'm going to be carefully going to draw this, make sure I'm inside kind of the outline right there. And we have draw on back. I'm going to end it right there just so that you see it. That got filled. Okay. And you can use any shape you want. So if you miss something, let's say right there, you can just kind of draw a circle right there. So we're just kind of patching right now all the stuff that needs to be yellow. Okay, you see there's kind of like a tiny white right there. Just draw a circle like so. And the fill drawing is always going to the back because we have the draw on back activated. All right, so let's finish this real quick. And just click undo if you go out of the line, because you don't want to be drawing outside the line with white. It will complicate your text. So it's okay to miss it inside like what I just did there, and you can just fill that color. All right, so let's go here. You can draw it all the way, or you can do it like in sections like what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, as soon as you let go, it completes the shape. All right, almost done. With this method right here, can you use a mouse? Yes, you can. Just a little bit harder and it takes longer. All right, and I think we are done with the title. Okay, there it is. So let me show you how you can get rid of the jitterness if you don't want it. But I think it's appropriate with this one. But so I'm gonna go here with sculpt mode. Okay, and the very top one is called smooth. You press F right here. You can increase the radius. But as you can see here, I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, right here. So if I run this across, you see how that gets smooth. So if you don't want, or you're using the mouse and it's super jittery and you don't want it kind of looking kind of crude, and so you can maybe right here, okay, you can apply the smooth, and you can change its strength also so it's not super smooth. Okay, keep in mind though, this will also smooth the one in the back, so you might expose some of your color right there that are missing. Okay, so that's how you do it. It's just sculpt, and then, but I'm gonna leave mine as is. I think it needs that kind of jitterness in there from the original. Okay, so let me fix that right there. All right, so now we're gonna turn off draw on back. Okay. All right, so now let's go to our cloud. So this is the title right here. Let me just save this real quick. So I'm gonna go save as. Let's call this Parallax asset. Okay, so save that. Okay, and now let's make another grease pencil. So let's hide this for now. Okay, let's make another grease pencil object. Let's go to object mode. Okay, then we're gonna go add. We're gonna go add grease pencil blank. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's a different one, and we gotta bring those materials again. But never, it's all right. Okay, so let's go to object mode, and then let's bring in add image reference. My mouse is kind of acting up. Reference right here, and then Simpsons Cloud JPEG. There they are. So we're just gonna trace this. Again, it's just two colors. So. Let's go to our grease pencil right here. Let's change that to clouds. Okay, and we're going to just kind of make make all this, kind of copy them real quick. Super easy. Okay, but first things first, let's get the colors that we need. So right here we have we need to be in yeah, let's lower the opacity first on this. Let's go to DMT. Okay, let's lower the opacity. I mean, let's get the color first. Never mind. Let's go to clouds. Okay, let's go to draw. So we have access to the shader, the materials. Okay, this one we don't really need this. We can just delete that. We need two. So they're both fill color. Okay, and this one is we're gonna eyedrop it. It's this white right here. There you go. And then we're gonna add another one. Click new. It's also fill. And eyedrop. It's this shade right here. Okay. And we're gonna learn how to kind of do a little bit of gradient for the background here. All right. So we got those two. Now we're ready to go back to object mode first. Select the empty. Go to its data. Data property right here. Opacity. Let's go lower on that as long as we can see it. And then let's kind of trace these clouds right here, and then we can add them to our collection. Okay, so let's go to clouds. All right, so we're going to draw the white part first. Okay, and again, it's just, I mean, we don't even need guides here. It's just that, in case you're not comfortable with drawing clouds from memory, that's similar to the Simpsons clouds, and that's why we're doing this. Okay, so we go to draw mode. We're going to go to draw pen, and then we're going to select the white material right here. And this is the same thing how we colored those Simpsons letters with the opening, right? So all right, so we're super easy here. I'm just going to go like so. Okay. Yeah, it's right there. Let me click undo. It's harder to see, but it's because it's a white color, right? We didn't go all the way opacity on the reference. Okay, and right now also we're make sure you're on frame 1. You didn't move this because otherwise that will animate. Probably a good idea also turn off the auto keyframing here at this point, so regardless you move the timeline, you're not going anywhere. All right, so let's do this pretty quick. And then for the bottom, we're just going to go like so. Okay, and there it is. And then if we want to add the other color, we're not drawing on back, we want to draw in front. Okay, we're going to select the other color now, and then we're just going to simply kind of draw a little bit. Oops, undo. We're on that one, and then we have this material right here. Let's double check. Okay, I forgot to uncheck stroke. We only want fill. Okay, so both of these are fill only. That's why you saw kind of like a black trim in there. All right, so we're just gonna go kind of slightly below this cloud right here, and then we're gonna go here and all right, there you go. That's our kind of shading for the cloud. Okay, maybe a little bit crude here. Let's make it a little bit rounder right there. Okay, all right, so that's one cloud. How many clouds do we need? Not a lot, but for the sake of kind of demoing how this is done, let's make one more. Okay, and then we we select the other color right there, and as long as you're kind of below this one. All right, so there's another cloud, maybe too busy right here. Okay, and then okay, all right, maybe one more. So we have kind of 3 variations, and you can flip this over. So all right, so I'm on the white color right now. That's too jaggedy. Let's do better. Okay, switch to the shadow. Okay, so patching those white part right there. All right, so we got our clouds right here. Let's go now to object mode. I'm going to save this one in case I crash and we don't lose everything. That's the cloud reference. We're not going to render. We don't want to see it. Okay, so there it is. We got our clouds, and let's bring the title. All right, so there it is. So what we need to do now is simply resize the Simpsons title, but let's bring in the sound. All right, so the sound is from the, I think, season 2. So how do we bring the sound right here? So I'm going to right click here in this division, and then we want a horizontal split, so that gives us our another window so we can bring in the sound. Okay, and we need to switch this view to the video sequencer, and the video sequencer is matching the timeline's playhead where it's parked, so we want that at the beginning. Okay, so for this sound, I'm simply going to bring in the music right here. Okay, MP3, and then it's going to bring that over, drop it in there. Okay, and I'm going to position that on channel 1. Doesn't matter which one, it's we only have this sound. And let's preview it. All right, so let's end our animation at 160 here. Okay, so we're only seeing 160. The logo, the title actually centers around this hole right here and shows the town. So we want to make sure that when we are at the end of the animation, I think around 150 right there. Let's make this to 180. I think 150 to 160 is where we want the, because it says The Simpsons. I think that's on 50. Okay, 60. All right, so we need to animate the title kind of fading. Okay, so let's take care of that first. Let's right click here. We need another space, vertical split. We're going to leave our animation. Make sure here you're looking at the final one right there. Okay, so we're going to put that in here, and that's kind of our working space. Okay, so let's bring in the transparent background. Okay, so I'm going to click plus here. Let's go add shading. All right, so there's shading right there. And we could have done that with here, change this, but yeah, let's just do everything right here. So here, let's switch back to the camera. All right, make sure you're watching this on the final render right there. And here in the shading area, we need to change this one. We're currently on object. Let's go to the world. Okay, so this world right here, whatever color we put here, of course, that takes it and it becomes whatever it is. Okay, so let's bring in our gradient. We're going to need gradient. So Shift A, okay, and you can just type in gradient. Okay, gradient texture. Okay, so we will need one right there. We need color ramp also. Shift A, search, and just type in color. Okay, color ramp. Okay, so we want that in here. So let's kind of arrange this. We don't need to see what's happening in the background and the world output. We want to concentrate on this one and this. All right, we also want our texture mapping on this. So if you haven't done so, you need to go to Edit, Preferences, and make sure that you add your Node Wrangler. Okay, so put a check mark on Node Wrangler. Okay, on Themes right here, I think you can, if it's no, it should be on the add-on right here. So search for it. Node Wrangler is what we want. Okay, once you have that, all you have to do is select the gradient tool right here, node, sorry, and then Control T. okay, you automatically get mapping and texture coordinate plugged in. If you don't want to install Node Wrangler, you're going to have to do this manually. Type in mapping, plug vector to vector, type in texture coordinate when you search for it, and then generate it to vector, okay? So the connection now is gradient color goes to the factor, color to color, and we're done, okay? Hands and no horizon on this planet. That goes vertical like that. So that's, we got to rotate the Y right here 90 degrees. So we have our vertical, horizontal line right there. We also want to change the colors. So the white part right here, we do want that to be blue. So select this, double click it. Okay, this white part, just give it a blue, Simpson blue. Right there, okay, and maybe not that blue, right there, okay, and then this black one, we just want to change this, double click it. Sometimes it takes a while. There you go, double click, change that to white. Okay, and there's our gradient. It's not working right now because we got to push the blue close to the, oh, there you go, close to the white one, and then you can see the gradient right here. All right, you want to lower this one, so we're going to hold down shift and okay, and then drag this X so that it's a little bit subtle right there. Okay, I think that's good right there, and then it's kind of spread this a little bit. So the gradient, it's not too okay, right there, and then maybe play with this a little bit if you want it a little bit lighter, but I think that's fine right there. Okay, and there's our gradient for the background. Okay, so now we go back to our 2D animation. Okay, I'm gonna leave this for a few seconds right here so you could see the link. You can pause the video. All right, we're back to 2D animation. I'm going to save. It's time for Parallax. Okay, so the title right here, well, let's animate the title first. Okay, so let's work with the camera. All right, so I'm going to middle click, drag this. There we go. Now you see the camera right here. Okay, so let me go to object mode. So if I select the camera, turn on my move gizmo, we're grabbing the y-axis. So we just want the y-axis. You can see, if you look in the camera right there, you could see the camera moving. That's what we want, right? So when the audio is done, and I turn off auto keyframe, right? So we got to manually keyframe this, which is good because you don't want, when you're testing like this, you don't want it automatically keying everything. You'll go nuts. So let's play it with the sound. All right, so I think around 150 is where we end our animation. So we know our camera now is going to be really close to the Simpson right there. Okay. All right, so that's where we want our camera on frame 150. Okay. However, the Simpson, we need to kind of center that because this thing right here, it shows the town. All right. So let's go to our title. Okay. And we're in object mode. Okay. And we are not animating anything. Okay, our animation auto keyframing is off, so I'm just going to press G right here and just kind of center this right here. Okay, so that we're at that hole right there. Okay, now we select our camera. Okay, again, remember 150, that's where we want our camera to. So let's animate that now. Okay, so with the camera selected, I'm going to press N for the sidebar. Forgot screencast. Let's press N on the sidebar under item right here. We got our Y location. We're going to right click this, insert single keyframe. Okay, so it keyframes that on 150. Okay, we're on grease pencil here, so you're not going to see it because you got to be in dope sheet. Okay, there you go. And now we go to frame 1. So we're animating this in reverse. We go to frame 1. We pull the camera back. I'm going to grab the y-axis there. Okay, maybe we're this far back. Let's see. A little bit more. It starts like that, I think. Okay, right there, that's the beginning of our camera. Okay, so now let's right click this, insert single keyframe. When we play this one now, the camera just simply goes. All right, and it stops right there. Of course, we're not going to continue the logo. We just need that. All right, so that's done. What else do we need to figure out? Okay, in the original right here, when it says "duh," that's when the title actually shows up. Before that, it does not show up. Okay, so let's. This is a grease pencil file. There's so many ways to actually do this. We can animate it in display, viewport display right here, because we're not doing anything to that, right? We can animate opacity, so on and so forth. But let's try and do all this within grease pencil. Okay, so or we can do it here. Okay, so select title. Okay, select the title. We're in object mode. Okay, if we go to our layers right here, where are we? Layers right here. Okay, we have opacity right here, so you can actually make that Simpsons disappear. All right, so how do we do this? So let's go to the beginning. So at the beginning on frame 1, we don't see the Simpsons. Okay, I mean, you see the outline because it's selected, but it's not showing right now. Okay, so we're going to keyframe this to the right here, saying, okay, opacity, we don't want to see it, frame 1. Okay, then we go all the way to frame 50. Frame 50, we still don't want to see it, so keyframe it again. So from 0 to 150, you don't see it. Okay, and then from 50 to 60, where we hear "duh," right? So 50 to 60 or 61, depending on how your OCD is. Okay, I'm gonna bring the opacity now to 1, keyframe that. So now it has this gradient, or I'm going to deselect it actually so you don't see it right there. Okay, and we go. So it shows up from 50 to, and then it's fully showing on frame 61. Okay, so now let's take a look. All right, so now finally parallax lesson. Okay, so we don't need to see this, but it's okay. We'll leave it in there. Okay, all right, so now let's let's go to our clouds right here. So let's zoom in. Okay, and we need to be in edit mode for this. Okay, let's go to edit mode, and we're just simply going to move these clouds and populate this. Okay, so let's we're in edit mode. I'm going to select that. So you can see you probably need to do a big selection like that, because I did draw some corrections, so you want to grab the entire thing. Okay, so you want to turn on also your move tool gizmo here, so you can easily just grab it. So let's not make the screen a priority here. I'm going to press T to hide the toolbar right there. Okay, all right, so we need to put all these elements first. We're not animating any of them, right? To see where the clouds would be when we end the logo. Okay, so right there. Okay, they're probably, yeah, of course they're obviously too close. So these are the back clouds. Okay, so we're just watching it on frame 147, 150. Okay, so these are the back clouds right here. So I'm going to put that in there so it's in the back. All right, so you can see here's the parallax now. Select that other cloud right there, and we want that thing right there and maybe over there. So these are the clouds we see at the end of the logo. Oops, I just want a GY. Okay, right there, and maybe. Okay, so but we need more clouds. So I'm going to go to 1 right here. So we're in the front viewport. Okay, so I'm going to Shift D, duplicate this. Okay, put it right there, but I don't want it looking identical to that, even though it's behind the logo. So I'm going to go grease pencil, mirror X. So at least it flips it. We have some variations on the copies. Okay, and I'm going to scale it, press S, kind of make that a little bit big. And these are far, right? So these are the back clouds. Let's add, let's say, but I think that's fine, right? Maybe one more right here. So we grab, let's say, this cloud right here, Shift D. Okay, maybe shrink that so it's smaller or bigger. Smaller because it's at the back. Maybe make it big like this. Mirror X, and then push that in the back. So it's like real parallax, so it's small. Okay, so all of those are right there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is bring our front clouds. Okay, so let's select all these guys here. Shift D to duplicate, and then Y axis. Let's move them all up front. Okay, there they are. Okay, let's grab that one and put it a little bit closer here. All right, so those clouds are going to show up front. So let's drag our camera here and make sure they're at least in front of the Simpsons right there. So that's not bad. They're just tiny. Okay, so the problem with them, they're tiny. So let's select one right here. Let's go to the front. Okay, so this is the beginning of the frame, right? So let's see here. Let me just scrub this so that we get a feel of when that Simpson shows up. Okay, right there. So we're just gonna scale this one. Oh, so we want this kind of big and then kind of off the screen like so. Okay, we select this one. Well, just this one here. Select it on the camera because I don't want to select the one behind it. So let's press S to scale it. Oh, there's actually two in there. Okay. Oh, that's fine. All right, I want gigantic like that. This one. Maybe even bigger. Okay. Let's move that. I'm looking at the camera. Okay, and let's see. Oh, it's much farther back. Okay, because you don't want this kind of all at the same, so that you get different parallax effect. Okay, and this one. Okay, let's take a look. Let's play it again. Okay, all right, so we're getting there. We need more clouds. This one for sure. The beginning, let's see. All right, we want this farther back, a little bit to the right, but big. Okay, let's play it. All right, we want that a little bit forward, right? We want it to disappear a lot sooner before the title kicks in. Okay. Maybe it's too big. Okay, right there. All right, so we just need clouds on the other side. So let's see. All right, so we're getting there. We just need clouds on the other side now. So let's go to the beginning right here. And let's select, let's say that cloud right there. Okay. And we're going to duplicate it. Bring it over here. Let's flip it. All right, and let's not give it the same kind of distance. We might need to have it right there. Okay, press 1 here. Let's bring this cloud right here, duplicate it. This goes on this side right here. Okay, and let's change its oh, I think I accidentally grabbed that to undo. All right, and one more here probably. Let's go with this one. Oh, I forgot the highlight. Let's go like this. All right, duplicate. All right, so bring that a little bit like so. Now let's play it. All right, so it's a little abrupt on the clouds. This one right here, this needs to be a little bit to the right. So we get our parallax. So it looks like they're kind of parting ways. There we go. Okay, right here, and while we're right here, we need some clouds over there. So let's bring in the clouds. Shift D. Okay, and maybe one behind right there. Okay, press G. All right, and probably this one right here. Let's duplicate that, bring it to the back also. Oh, there's several, that's fine. Kind of put them like so. Maybe some here, and duplicate some over there. Change their position. And there's this floating. I'm gonna delete that one right there. All right, let's take a look. All right. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so all we have to do now is to render this. Okay, so we go to our and make sure you're watching this on the main final render right here. Let's give it an output. Okay, we're in. Let's give it a name right here. So I'll just put this on my desktop real quick. Give it a name. Simpsons title right there. Except you want this as an MPEG video. You want it as a QuickTime. Okay, and since we're using sound right here, you can output quality. You can go to high quality. Codec, just put MP3. Okay, make sure you put that because otherwise you won't render sound. And we're only rendering up to 160, so there's no need to trim our video. I mean our audio. Okay, so after 160, it stops it. All right, so let's take a look. Now let's do our render. Let me save first. What did I call this now? What is this called? Assets. So actually, this is now Parallax animation. So let's rename it properly. Simpsons Parallax animation lesson. Okay, save that real quick. Okay, always save your file before you hit render because all the crashing happens during that time, so it doesn't take a while. It's pretty fast because it's an EV. Okay, there it is. Of course, if you want to complete the entire intro, you got to do more. No, we're stopping it right there because you get the point with the parallax, and let's watch that as a file now. All right, I see some runaway stuff. All right, make sure you clean. You see that one? There's like a little UFO right there. Anyway, thanks for watching.